Okay, you guys are going to do a lab today over Newton's laws. So your objective, or why we're doing this, is we are going to observe what occurs in various simple motion situations, and you're going to determine which of Newton's laws of motion relate to it and how they relate to the situation. So you guys are going to have 6 different stations that you will travel to, and you are going to do, well, what it tells you to do on the paper, right? So it says go to each station and follow the instructions that are listed on your lab sheet. Make sure to do everything exactly you're supposed to and clean up well after each station. The stations do not have to be done in order. Please go to one that has no or very few people. Okay, don't all crowd around one. That makes it very ineffective. Now, we have some instructions to go over. You guys are going to be doing 6 stations. There's not major safety concerns, but it's still nice to go over them. So, station 1 is penny and note cards. Please take the pennies out of the water and dry them. They get all corroded and gross if you don't. So please do that. So you're going to put a little bit of water into a plastic cup, and you're going to place a note card on the top cup. Instead of a cup, I don't know why I keep forgetting to change this. You're going to use a glass beaker, not a cup. Okay, so put a little bit of water into a beaker and place a note card on top of the cup. Place a penny on top of the note card. And then before you do anything, you're going to write a null hypothesis down here on what's going to happen when you quickly pull that note card out. And so remember, null hypothesis, that means that we have the words no, not, never, something like that in our hypothesis. You also need to make sure you do not put I believe, I think. Okay, that introduces bias into your hypothesis. So we remove that. Most of the time, if you just erase I think from the front of your sentence of your hypothesis, dude, your hypothesis is still a full sentence and it still makes sense. So we don't need it in that sense either. So you write a null hypothesis, and then you're actually going to pull the note card quickly out, making sure to keep it horizontal, and you're going to record your observations. Then you will move to your next station. You are not going to go through and answer your conclusion or anything about Newton's laws until you are done with the entire lab. Today we are just trying to get through all of your stations. Okay? So you do not answer those. So do the hypothesis and observations. Then you're going to go to the next station. So if that happens to be station 2, you're going to blow up a balloon and hold the end closed with your fingers. You are not going to tie it. You're going to hold it closed while your partner tapes a straw to the top of it. And there's a string taped to the wall, and you're going to put the straw onto that string. Before you let go, you need to write your null hypothesis again in the space provided down below, and then you're going to let go. You're going to write down your observations. You're going to skip over where it says conclusion, circle which one of Newton's laws, and now you're going to write another hypothesis. You are going to put some masses onto the balloon. Those masses could be pennies from the station next door. They can also just simply be a pen or a pencil that you have, and you're going to blow that up, hold it closed. Your partner's going to tape those on, and then you are going to release it, and you can write down your observations. Now, here's your one safety thing with this one. Please make sure that the balloons are only used one time. When you are done, when I say one time, I mean like only with one group. Once your group is done, please go throw it away in the trash can. Please don't leave it sit there for another group to use, thinking it's clean, and then you just literally swapped saliva because you used the same balloon twice between 2 different groups. Ugh! No, thank you. Okay, so after your group is done, please put it in the trash can. The other thing is, please do not let the balloons just sit on the lab table. Don't grab a whole handful trying to get the specific color of balloon that you want and let them go flying. Lab tables do not tend to be the cleanest places of all time. We don't always do a really good job of cleaning them up afterwards, even though it's like, hey, make sure you clean them. We all know that we've probably walked out of a lab before without actually wiping down the table, even when we should. So you have no idea what you're putting in your mouth on those balloons. So please keep them in the bag. Don't let them splay out all over the table. All right. Station 3, ball in a bucket. There are 2 buckets at Station 3 that have a ball in them, and it says you can take them to the hallway. You're going to write a null hypothesis of what will occur if you spin the bucket around in a large vertical circle like you're pitching a softball while the ball is inside of it. Okay, and then you're going to write down your observations. Now, when you do this, please be very careful. Have the shortest person in your group do this. Otherwise, you will probably hit the ceiling with the bucket. On top of that, you need to ensure that you are not in that space where we have those like blue lower part of the ceiling right next to the doors, because then you really will hit the ceiling. You also need to make sure you are not near a fire or a water sprinkler, a fire sprinkler. Okay, if you hit one of those off, dude, we're going to have to cancel school, and not for a good reason. Like, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a disaster. It's bad. We've already flooded the school once before. Let's not do it again. I don't know if you guys were old enough to remember that, but it was a disaster. It was not fun. We had another flood a couple of years ago over the summer. Like, it's not a good thing. Don't do it. We're probably getting out of school anyway for one thing or another this winter. So, meh. Okay? All right, write down your observation. What happens? Skip over these again for now, and then station 4, dogs in a canoe. You're going to pull up this video. Now, you don't have to type that all in. There is a link on Canvas. When you click on Lab Newton's Laws Stations, it has that link for you. Do not push play yet, because you need to make a null hypothesis. The null hypothesis you're going to write is going to be about what you think is going to happen when a small dog tries to go from one canoe to another canoe. You're going to watch the video. There's 1 or 2 short little clips of people falling down, and then you will have the dog moving from one canoe to another. You're going to write down your observations of what happened, and then you're going to continue on to station 5. Station 5 is scooters, okay? The scooters we're talking about are the ones that you had when you were in elementary school that people were like break their fingers on. Please don't injure yourselves. Each partner is going to sit on a scooter and face each other. You're going to make a prediction what will happen when a partner pushes on the other. The other one's just going to sit there and is completely innocent. Be kind to them. Do not shove them off the scooter. Do not tackle them. Okay, do not do those things. You know what happens when people don't listen to me when I say those things? People get their collarbone broken. It wasn't in this lab, but it was in a different lab where somebody broke their collarbone in it was a biology class. So please listen to instructions. Be careful. You guys are going to gently push each other. You need to make sure on your observations you are very specific with directions and distances traveled by the humans and on the scooters, okay? Once you're done with the scooters, please put them back up on the table so that somebody doesn't accidentally step on them and go flying like they're in a cartoon, okay? I know what that feels like when you step on a platform with wheels and break your ankle in this classroom, so don't do it. All right, station 6 is an egg tower. Hopefully the eggs are in my fridge behind my desk. If they're not, they're probably still sitting out on the table, which is okay. You're going to build an egg tower just like the one that's on the very front table, but with a real egg. So there is a big beaker of water, a pie tin, a paper towel holder, and an egg on top of that. The egg is a plastic egg. You guys are going to actually use a real egg. You're going to make a prediction what's going to happen when you hit the pie tin in a very quick horizontal smack. Please do not follow through when you actually hit the pie tin because that could get very extra messy. Now this lab station might get messy. If it does, please clean it up very well. If and when your eggs crack, you need to put the yolk and the egg white, run it down the sink with a whole bunch of water. The yolk may get stuck in the drain of the sink, so you just got to poke it like with your finger or something like that to get it to pop, and then run it down with lots of water. Wash your hand off because you just touched a raw egg, okay? And then the shells go in the trash can. Now, once you get all the way through all 6 stations, then you're going to go back and you're going to actually answer your conclusion. You're going to write down, was your hypothesis accepted or unaccepted, and why. You're going to use, for the why, you're going to use evidence from your observations. Then you're going to look at Newton's laws and say which one or which ones of these 3 laws directly relate to this situation at that station. So remember, Newton's first law, anything in motion stays in motion, anything at rest stays at rest unless an outside force acts on it. Okay, Newton's second law, net force equals mass times acceleration. And Newton's third law, which is every force comes in equal and opposite pairs. Okay, you're going to circle which one you think it is and then explain why that law is the one that directly relates to this lab station. Okay, and you're going to do that for each of the 6 after you're done with all 6. You will go answer those questions for all 6 of the stations. And then you will have these additional questions that you are going to answer. Excuse me. Goodness. Okay. So those 3 questions shouldn't take you too long. You will probably spend more time doing the Newton's laws. It will take a little bit of brain power, but I have full confidence that you guys can do it. And then we will talk about this tomorrow, assuming you have it done. If you don't have it done, man, that's going to be hurtful for you. It's going to be very disheartening. Please get it done so that you can, have the benefit of discussing what we should write down. I hope you catch my drift, not to do a pun on snow drifts that are probably going on since it's winter. So you guys have the rest of the class period to go into the lab and actually perform this, get it done, and then when you're all done, sit down and answer your questions afterwards, all right? If you have any questions, make sure you send me email, those kinds of things. Don't wait until the start of class. It's not going to happen. It needs to be long before. All right. Good luck. Have fun. Behave.